What's up everybody, my name is Dwight and welcome back to GeForce Garage. It's been a few years since we've had Boddaker Carter in the studio, but he's back today with his Star Trek themed build called USS Innovate, just in time for the recently released Strange New World series. Let's hear more about the rig from him.
Hey guys, today I brought with me the Star Trek PC USS Innovate. Back in November, I heard about the Intel Level Up Challenge case mod competition, and the theme of that competition was the future of innovation. So immediately I thought of Star Trek. I came up with a design that integrated a lot of those innovations from the show, and I was lucky enough to be one of the top 7 chosen to actually build the PC. Once I got all the hardware from Intel, I was able to get the measurements off of the Be Quiet 802 chassis to make the 3D models for the replicator on the side, the Star Trek Discovery model on the top, and the warp core in the inside of the PC. On the front of the case, I wanted to put a Star Trek insignia, so I took a 1/4 inch plate of aluminum and cut that out with a jigsaw, and then polished it up with sandpaper and hand files. And then using the scroll saw, I cut out the inlay, which I put a red acrylic star inside. There's a lot of different variations of Star Trek insignia. This one was from the Star Trek Discovery logo. I then mounted the insignia to this nickel foam material that I used for the front panel, and it's basically the same material that NVIDIA uses for their DGX servers. The original design for the front of the case, I had a graphic of the intro for the show, whereas space, the final frontier, these are the voyages of the Star Trek Enterprise, blah, blah, blah. So I had that all written out, but didn't really fit, so I wanted to come up with a different front. That's when I saw I had that nickel foam. I was like, oh, that's actually the same color as the walls on the Star Trek Enterprise. So I decided to paint everything satin nickel. One of the main features on the case is the replicator on the side. I wanted to duplicate what was on Star Trek Next Generation, so I 3D printed the top and the bottom, and I put light boxes and a black acrylic panel for the back. I wanted to specifically use a replicator because I think the 3D printer is a rudimentary precursor to the actual replicator on the show because it creates an object. On the replicator in the show, they have a menu system that's on top, so I put a secondary monitor to display the system telemetry. I used styrene sheet to mimic the paneling, and I continued that to the window panel as well. For the top of the case, I wanted to add a model of the Star Trek Discovery. So I 3D printed that, added some underlighting, and added the MSI Wi-Fi antenna that came with the 690 motherboard. One of the other main 3D printed parts was the warp core that sits over the MSI AIO cooler on the inside of the case. I used a transparent filament on the top and bottom of the warp core tubes so that the light could transmit through. I used 2 LED strips emanating from the center so that the lights would pulse from the center out. For the feet of the case, I wanted to paint a bright red because on the show, all their railings on the bridge, everything's a bright red, so I wanted to bring that accent color into the case. For the specs of the case, I'm using an MSI Carbon Z690 motherboard with a Intel 12900K processor. I'm also using 32 gigs of DDR5 G.Skill TridentZ memory and a 1 terabyte Samsung M.2 drive. Everything's powered by a Silverstone 1000 watt power supply. For the video card, I use an EVGA GeForce RTX 3070 Ti FTW. And I customized the centers of the fans with little Starfleet insignias. To finish off the build, I got some custom sleeved cables from TitanRig in the Starfleet uniform colors, the red, the mustard yellow, and the blue.
Congratulations, Brian, for winning PDXLAN 2022 with this build and for coming in to share it with us. I hope to see you back sooner than the last time. If you guys enjoyed this type of video and would like to see more, hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you for the next one.